Mass Effect Andromeda divided opinion. A lot of people liked it and a lot of people didn't. But there were some great mysteries in the game that didn't get anywhere near as much focus and attention as they should have, being pretty much relegated to side missions or minimal mentions in the game. But I think had they been given larger parts of the overall arc of the game's narrative, these smaller mysteries would have given the main story a lot more intrigue. Hey everyone, Ash here from Odyssey Gaming, and today we're looking at 5 mysteries that absolutely deserved more screen time in Mass Effect Andromeda. Number 5. Who did the Archon answer to? While the Archon was a decent antagonist, we didn't get to have a one-on-one battle with him, like we did against Saren in the first Mass Effect. But one thing that stood out while playing through the game was the fact that the Archon wasn't at the top of the pyramid for the Ket. In one cutscene, Primus, Archon's second in command, is seen trying to steer Archon back on the path of the Ket's original objective, which was to exalt the Helios cluster of Andromeda before moving on. But with Archon fully obsessed on finding out about the remnant technology, Primus's pleading falls on deaf ears. Let's take a look.
With reverence, Archon, this fascination with Meridian cannot continue.
It's the key to our future, Primus. The human knows nothing of its true power.
Even we don't fully understand it. Our orders are to exalt this cluster, not study the remnant. Questions are being asked about your judgment. Questions that come from the highest levels.
So who are the higher-ups that Primus and Archon answer to? Had this been a more fleshed out storyline, maybe Archon would have felt like more of an antagonist. It could have given some background on him and Primus and how they came to be where they are now. But with Mass Effect's future up in the air at the moment, we may never find out what's going on. Number 4. The Jaardan. The Jaardan, the real name for the Remnant. We don't learn the Jaardan's real name until pretty much the end of the game, and then all we get is a couple of name drops and the fact that they created all of the technology that we've been sifting through throughout the game before having to run off and start what turns out to be the end stages of the story. Had we been given more hints and details about the Jaardan throughout the game, slowly leading up to the reveal, we probably wouldn't have felt so little informed about a pretty major race in the Andromeda galaxy. And yes, the remnant Jaardan technology was in front of us pretty much the entire time, but come the end of my full playthrough, I was kind of just left wanting to know more. I like me some knowledge. Give me some knowledge. Number 3. The Quarian arc. Well, here we are, one of the main things people wanted to see in Mass Effect Andromeda and didn't get it. But then we got the tease at the end of the game. But again, didn't get anything. Then we got another little hint during the Apex Mission 8 of the multiplayer, where one of the files that we were sent to intercept says, trying to boost signal, unknown if, tech seems to be helping even if we don't know the, back to QODYSSEY, way home. This was the last hint of the Quarians we got, and haven't heard anything since. Rescuing the other arcs was one of the main points of the story, bringing the initiative back together after a somewhat rocky arrival in Andromeda. Going after the Quarian arc after rescuing the others could have been epic and would have been an excellent addition to the storyline, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. People, including us, still want to see a conclusion and to see the Quarians, even if it's through a DLC. And it also begs the question, who's going after the Quarians and the other inhabitants of the QODYSSEY? The Ket or someone else? A mystery it seems we'll never have solved. Hashtag save the Quarians. I love a good murder mystery, and I really enjoyed investigating Jien's story and murder. Not in a morbid way or anything, promise. But the investigation itself, if you focus on it and only do the missions for it, it's over in around 30 to 45 minutes, which isn't that long. And the questions it raises makes you ponder, who was responsible for Jien's death? Why did she need to be silenced so abruptly? There are many more questions surrounding Jien's murder, But had this storyline been fleshed out and been given more prominence in the overall arc of things, Jien's story and murder would have felt more impactful and meaningful. Jien Garson was the reason the Andromeda Initiative came together in the first place, so for such a prominent character to have so much mystery surrounding her, for it to be put into a side story seems very strange. It would have been awesome to have it as a much larger story in the game, and maybe there is more light to be shed through the novels, but for now it's another mystery that we likely won't hear the answer to. And number 1, of course, it's the Benefactor. This got an overwhelming majority when I asked people on Twitter about it, and a lot of people wanted this mystery solved, and I really hope that it would have some kind of payoff during the game, especially as it ties in with the Jien Garson murder mystery. Who are they? And why did they want Jien replaced if she was the one that brought the initiative together? I won't go into too much detail on this one, as I'm working on a theory about this right now. But as the Benefactor was the sole reason the initiative managed to get off the ground after Jien ran into financial trouble, why were they only mentioned in the certain conversations with certain characters, when having it included in the game in a much larger way would have added to the drama and suspense of the game? Especially if it was tied into a larger narrative of Jien Garson's murder. But in the end, it's just left us with a lot of questions and not a lot of answers, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Or wait until I finish compiling my theory on the Benefactor, which hopefully will be up on the channel within the next week or two. All of these mysteries are very cool and very intriguing, which makes it seem strange that they weren't given more screen time in the game. And it could be put down to the fact that the writers were possibly planning to wrap up these stories in later DLC or even in the sequel. But with the negativity the game received post-launch and BioWare's silence about any future Mass Effect content past multiplayer, it's pretty likely now that we won't find the answers to these questions, at least not anytime soon. And with each passing week, it seems any story DLC is but a faint speck in the distance. But what do you think? Do you agree with our list? And were there any other stories that you wanted answers to in Mass Effect Andromeda? Be sure to let us know in the comments. I'm Ash from Odyssey Gaming. You can follow us on Twitter here, and if you want, you can follow me on Twitter, only if you really want to, at Sci-Fi Fantasy Guy. Thanks for watching, like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed, and we'll see you again very soon.